Hi everyone, thank you for joining with us today, and I'm very excited to have Dr. Nina Walsh with us here again, and then really learn about her wisdom around our breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day, and then how we can start the breakfast in such a exciting and proactive way to ensure our health on our body and our mind. I know she has a lot of wisdom around the food and all those things, so very excited to have you here today.
Great, thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining with us.
So yes, we're talking about breakfast, not just nutrition in general, which is a big important topic and the foundation of health, but specifically breakfast. Breakfast is, I notice, one of the meals that people know that is very important, right? But it's also the one that we tend to skip sometimes.
Yes, I know.
Right?
Yes.
And the reason for that is that the morning tends to get busy,
right.
and sometimes, we're not hungry, like our digestion hasn't really kicked in yet, right? And we know we need energy, right? And sometimes we'll just grab a cup of coffee.
Right.
And we don't really want to cook something, right? Whereas lunch we can go grab. Yes, exactly. So it's really important. Why is breakfast such an important meal? Because we have been fasting for 8 hours, hopefully, right? At least minimum, but hopefully 12.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe even 14 since the last meal, since dinner the night before, right? And even though the body was in a state of rest, it was also using nutrients. It was also using energy, because at night in our sleep is when our body repairs, right? All the damage that we bless you, that we incurred, so to speak, during our activities during the day.
That's right.
And so nighttime is very important for rest. But that is also when we're using those building blocks. And so we haven't eaten for 12 hours, right?
Yes.
We also have used energy, and now we get up and we go and spend more, right? Without replenishing it, because now we have another day and we have, challenges to meet. So in that, we can get depleted that way very quickly, right? I mean, we spend.
Right, and then all of a sudden we overeat or we choose wrong food.
Exactly. Then all of a sudden we're so hungry that we don't even care what we grab, right? And so I do encourage people, for that matter, to really, really create a routine, a healthy routine around breakfast and in the morning in general. And so, of course, just eating something doesn't necessarily do much good, for your body, for your immune system, for your health, for your energy. Just grabbing a bagel is not what we're talking about, right? Even though it's easy, even though that maybe, or that box of cereal, that is not exactly how you support your immune system. So, but we can really make our breakfast a meal that is packed with nutrients, that is, will set up our day in the right way, right? And make sure that we have energy for everything that we need to do, lasting energy, and that we're not depleting ourselves, but we actually have that lasting fuel, and we can, keep going, and our immune system is also supported. So what kind of things can we do that are quick and easy, delicious, and also have all these amazing nutrients that will nourish our body and boost our immune system? So it is important to have a combination of nutrients, right? A well-balanced meal. So, excuse me, I always recommend having some protein, some fiber, and some fat, right? So you have a well-rounded meal right there, something that will help you last until lunch and be able to perform and not crash in the afternoon, early in the afternoon. So, of course, we're used to having grains in the morning. I recommend that we replace grains with seeds. And so we have a cereal, seed cereal, I call it, and that's kind of a beautiful breakfast meal, right? And so what I have here is equal amounts of raw buckwheat, which is a seed right here, and then hemp seed, which we also can use sunflower seeds for that. We can use nuts if we want to. We can also add flaxseed ground. You know, we can use it freshly ground, or it's okay to use already, you know, something that's prepackaged, but you want to store it in the refrigerator, you know. And then this is coconut flakes, just, you know, for another interesting flavor. That's another nut, and that has great fat and great fiber, great protein in it, right? And then we can use goji berries. Goji berries is one of those superfoods now that have become popular, and they've been used in Chinese medicine for a long time, for thousands of years, because they're packed with antioxidants. They enrich our blood. They sustain our energy, and they taste really great.
It's good for your eyesight too.
It is, because they enrich our blood. That's exactly why, right? And they're good for our heart. They're great for our skin and hair and all that. So, and they also replenish kidney genes, so our vitality actually. So, and they're not too sweet. So the glycemic index is pretty low. So all these nutrients, and we can add, like I said, you know, some of the other seeds. And all we do is we add hot water, boiling water to this, right? So, and this way, and you just let it sit for 10 minutes. Sometimes some people will add chia seed, and that works well, you know, for some, but not so well for others, you know. So
I love chia seed.
Oh, you do? So we can add chia seed.
It makes the taste more smooth.
It does
a
make
little
it
bit
smooth,
jelly rather than all watery.
More gelatinous.
Like
That's
jelly.
exactly right.
Kind of put everything together.
Yes.
Kind of
So
sense.
we can use chia seeds as well. They're wonderful. In some people, on occasion, I found that that will actually create a little more gas, you know. So if that doesn't work for you, obviously skip those. So we'll just let it sit for 10-15 minutes, and so I did pour a little too much water, maybe, but still, you know, all of these ingredients expand.
So we'll give it some time.
Yes, and then you can go and, you know, do your morning hygiene and, you know, go in and get ready for the day.
Do.
Right.
Yes.
And so this here is already getting ready. So you just can put it like in a warm place or something. And when it is done, when it's ready, we can sprinkle some bee pollen on top. And bee pollen is a wonderful, wonderful product created by nature's geniuses, bees, right? They're amazing. Their intelligence is amazing. And the beautiful products that we get from them, that we obtain from their activity, from their amazing kind of ingenuity, are so valuable, you know, which includes honey, bee pollen, propolis, wax, yes, and
they're like nature's engineer.
And royal jelly, and all of these things are great immune support foods, right? And they're delicious. And bee pollen specifically is packed with B vitamins, you know, it's very rich in B vitamins, so something that supports the immune system and nervous system and is necessary for energy. So and it's also delicious, right? So we can just, you know, sprinkle it on top, and they're beautiful. So this is something so different than cereal that comes out of a box, because it's really highly processed. There is virtually nothing natural left, right? And then it's actually gray mass that is blown through extruders into the shape of cute little animals, but there's nothing left in it. And then it's enriched with synthetic nutrients and prettified with artificial colors, right? So
and also it'll jack up our the glucose.
Yes, very high glucose index.
Hard on your pancreas.
Correct. Yes, it will interfere with your glucose metabolism. And so, but this way you also have raw, right? It's raw, beautiful cereal that combines all the important nutrients that are needed for you. So you can, so I use a tablespoon of all these different ingredients. You can double it or triple it depending on the amount that you want. Another benefit of it is that you can travel with it, right? If we travel and we, we don't have a lot of healthy choices around, this is something that you can easily take with you, and you can make it
idea.
Right at your hotel in the morning, right? And you don't have to go and eat continental breakfast, which is sugar again, right? And so, and then when it's done, you put some fat in it, right? And I like coconut milk, but it can be goat milk, it can be almond milk, and just a little bit, because, you know, then it's a well-rounded meal altogether. Because fat is also a great source of energy, right? And coconut specifically is very easily broken down for energy because it's medium chain triglycerides. And it's delicious, and it helps metabolize fat-soluble vitamins as well. So another idea is liquid breakfast, liquid immune breakfast. And so what this is, in this particular case,
it's yellow.
It's yellow, so it also has several ingredients in it. And what gives it the yellow color, take a guess?
Curcumin?
Yes, exactly. It's ground turmeric. It's that beautiful, powder, deep orange color, which has so many benefits. Pretty much
cancer,
for every system, and it's also a great immune support herb. But it is a spice, right? So it's kind of hard to consume it in large amounts. So if it's an actual spice rather than supplement in the form of curcumin.
Would you use actual turmeric, or would you get a powder form of it, dried and powder form?
In this particular case, I use powder. Turmeric powder. I do use turmeric for cooking. I use raw turmeric root in the smoothie, when I blend. Yes, I do.
I should have tried that. I never done that one.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, dried powder is much more concentrated, so the taste is stronger, even though it's delicious, but it's a spice, right? So it's kind of hard to consume it in the amounts that would be, therapeutic. So there is a take on traditional Ayurvedic recipe where here I took goat milk and I took dates, pitted dates, right? So for a cup of goat milk, I took 4 or 5 dates with pit removed, and I bring it, not quite to boil, but I make it nice and warm. And then I blend it in the blender. So you can use a Vitamix, which, an indispensable device in modern household, right? In a healthy household. But now I also like NutriBullet, which is a very simple thing. And it's just 1 cup, and you make the whole meal in 1 cup, and you only have 1 thing to wash. You can take it with you. But then also, here's where I add the turmeric powder. And you can easily do a teaspoon. And the flavor is delicious. It's not too strong, not too spicy, and obviously it is an amazing immune booster. And kids love it, actually. Sometimes it's hard for moms to switch kids from dairy milk, from cow's milk, which I only recommend raw, and organic, of course. You can boil it, but when it's pasteurized, when it is filled with preservatives, it is not a healthy product. So, but this way you can introduce goat milk, and it will be delicious. So you can take it with you as well. And I actually use this after my workout in the morning because it has great protein in it, right? So for lean muscle support and to replenish that expenditure of energy. So, and of course, the ultimate immune breakfast for me is a green smoothie, right? So obviously there is greens, and so what I use is whatever I have in the refrigerator, and I always have plenty of green, leafy green vegetables. So today I used arugula and parsley and leaves from cauliflower. I steam the cauliflower, and that will be my lunch with some chicken or some fish. But pretty much everything I use in the smoothie, you can utilize produce. This is a great kind of a no waste option. So, but then I also add seasonal fruit. So right now we're in the season of apples, and so I brought an apple here, and it's a beautiful heirloom variety, something that was brought 2 centuries ago from Europe by the settlers, right? And this is something that is still available, but it's only available usually in the fall, because then we just have more of a limited choice throughout the year. But now we have so many beautiful heirloom apples to try and remember, and experience all these flavors, crunchy and tart and sweet and all that. And so I have this apple because if it's just greens, especially arugula, it has a nice bitter flavor, but it's then it becomes much more interesting with the apple added to it. And then I also added a fresh ginger root, right? And that's another immune booster. It's a great antimicrobial, broad spectrum, meaning it works against bacteria, against viruses, against fungus. So it will protect you, right? It will kind of stave off whatever may be kind of yes happening around in the air. So the other things that I add here are antioxidant filled things. Again, I add some goji berries. I also added some acai paste, pure acai paste, then some hemp seeds as well, and walnuts, and raw cacao nibs. And so that becomes really an amazing immune boost, and it's delicious.
So you add some nuts there.
Yes, I do have some nuts. So, and you could add, again, just sunflower seeds, which is another great option. And so that increases the protein content of it, right? Because, yes, greens are beautiful, the chlorophyll and antioxidants and everything, but we do need to boost it with some protein. And another option would be to also have some protein shake added to it. And I wanted to mention this particular thing. This company is great. They make excellent products. Neither Hijo or I have any financial affiliation with it, but it's just an option that I wanted to bring up, like as a protein shake, protein powder that would be added to this idea of breakfast. But I also had a personal story to share, because this is because there's so many different protein powders on the market and sources. Exactly. Yes. And so you can choose whatever works for you. But in this case, it's very high quality, and it's also it also has immunoglobulin, so it has this immune boosting function as well. And my personal story is that this summer I was in Greece. I was on a beautiful island in Greece, and I was studying local culture and local medicine, herbs. And one day I planned this beautiful but challenging hike in the canyon on the island. And so I was looking forward to it. But the night before, unfortunately, we had a meal that may not have been kind of very fresh.
Not so fresh.
Right. And which I
happens
usually
sometimes.
Don't make mistakes like that, but that happened. And I definitely felt it. I felt quite sick, to the point where I was wondering, do I have appendicitis? What's going to happen? I'm away from home. I'm on this island, and tomorrow I'm supposed to hike. And so I was drinking a lot of water, and I took several full scoops of this powder, and the pain subsided.
Wow.
I was able to sleep. And in the morning, I actually was fully recovered. Yes, and I did
the
hike.
18.
I had no problem doing the hike. Yes, I enjoyed it. It was an amazing experience. Probably one of the most incredible experiences in my life. So that is something that I definitely recommend. Good. And again, especially right now, the season when supporting immune system is very important. Of course, we should do it throughout the year, right? Throughout the summer especially. But now we can kind of kick it up a notch, so to speak, right? So that's another option. And this is something that you can sip, right? You can take with you, even though I'm not like in favor of eating in the car, but this is something that you can actually swallow. But you can also enjoy it, right? Enjoy it at home before you leave the house.
So this has been about 10 minutes or so. Now you can see.
Now you can see it's a little thicker, so I did pour a little bit more water than I usually would, right? So you want it a little bit thicker. But this is something that you can already have. And then also I would add fresh fruit as well. Like we could add this apple. Do we have a knife that I can use? Yes, thank you. So we can just slice some apple right there. I would add like a little fig or maybe blueberries if it is earlier in the season, right?
Yes. And that'll make the taste a little bit more interesting.
Yes, and then it's delicious. It has this nice crunch and all. And again, like I said, it's raw. So, and then another idea, and there's actually, so the number of ideas is unlimited, right? Things. So I'm just trying to really inspire everybody to make breakfast a beautiful, nutritious meal, something that is really great for your digestion and for your health, right? And for your immune system. And so here is a very simple option. So when people are trying to switch from their usual cereal or, like a toast, right? They go to fruit usually, which is great, right? Depending on what fruit, hopefully you have fruit that is that has a lot of fiber and antioxidants in it, not just sugar, right? But even so, like even in this case, we have this beautiful heirloom apple, but still it won't last so long for you, right? It's nice. And so we can fortify it, so to speak, right? With something like goat cheese or local, organic farmer's cheese. And so all we need to do is to just kind of spread it on a little slice of apple. We can sprinkle a little cinnamon on it, right?
Yes.
And then it has this beautiful kind of sweet and savory taste, and it's a much more substantial meal, right? And in this case, you can even just take a slice,
scoop it up.
Yes, and
just like that.
Go like that. Yes. Right? And this is really, really delicious. And you're ready to take on your day.
Yes. While I was listening to you, I was really thinking about my daughter, like, and thinking for young children, right? As they're learning how to eat and what food to choose and all those things. I'm thinking how great would it be for them to learn this early on, so that when they go out for their college, whatnot, they have more knowledge, how to choose the food. But also, they're going to be busy, right? Yes. But they want to choose the food so that they don't mess up with their, insulins and become insulin resistant later on, or become, hypertensive, or maybe high cholesterols and diabetes and all those things.
All those great reasons.
Right.
And young people who go off to school, all of a sudden their workload is even higher.
Right.
Like their demand on their brain is even higher, and this is something that will support that.
Right.
And will help them, from the beginning to support their health, which their system is still developing.
Right.
And also it's so colorful.
Exactly.
It's fun, right? It's not just kind of grayish beige cereal
Yes.
out of a carton. Or the white or the beige bread, right? So we're trying to get away from this processed stuff and come back to what nature created for us to nourish us in such a full, complete, and potent way. And our taste buds remember what it's like, right? And the taste buds is something that activates all the other processes, right? In the body.
Yes. That's great. Well, this is very enriching, the presentation today. I know it was simple, but it was really, I was really thinking more about our children's and, all those things. And I really think, there is a way that you can really take charge of your health by learning these few steps and choosing the right food. Have the right food at home so that you can prepare something very fast and very nutritious.
It's very doable.
Yes. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge.
I'm happy to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining with us, and we will revisit with you very soon with a more exciting project. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.